Howdy, welcome to ENGL 1020, section I04, Comp 2 on the internet. In other words, we don't have any regular class meetings. So everything's going to happen in D2L. My name's Eric Fish. I'm going to be teaching the class. And the first thing we need to know, if you weren't here last semester for whatever reason, we have a double sign-in password thingy. There's a name for it, I can't remember. English teacher, right? So when you go into get into D2L, the D2L is short for Desire to Learn. You also hear it called Brightspace. You're going to have a couple of different steps. So I just Googled Northeast State. Like I said, it's called Brightspace by D2L. And whatever link you've been using, it's probably going to take you to this page right here. Generally, your username is going to be the same username you used to get into D2L. First initial. I don't think you all have your middle initials. All are part of your last name, maybe a number, and then your password's your birthday in 6 digits. And then once you figure all this out, and if you have trouble with it, you need to email Michael Collins or Steve Nichols at Northeast State, or call them up and they'll help you out too. But if it's a little frustrating at first, I'm sorry, but they're doing this for security. And finally, hopefully I'll get into D2L here. But D2L is going to be where the class is, all the course material. This is where you're going to submit assignments and all that good stuff. Again, most of you probably aren't first semester, brand new to Northeast State, but if you are, this is where it's at. You'll come to your D2L homepage. It's a good idea once in a while to come down here and read the announcements. If you need assistance throughout the semester, that's what this backpack is. It's kind of a weird image. It's like, well, why is that backpack doing there? But if you click on that, you're going to see all this different help. The Learning Center, TRIO, Accessibility Services, Childcare. All these things students can struggle with sometimes in terms of being able to attend class and being successful in school. That's kind of what that virtual backpack's for. It's a list of sites and contact people who can help you. And you've already paid for it. Don't be shy about using Northeast State services. You've paid for it. Why not use it, right? But anyway, we'll click on the class. You'll see the Pissarro painting. We'll talk about textbooks here in a second. But generally, I'm going to have a reminder up here. When you actually get into the class for the first time, you'll see this video link there. And make sure you kind of read the announcements real quickly. Again, once you read it once, you don't have to read it again. But I will put the reminders up there. Within the course, probably the most important area is the content area. That's where all the course documents are going to be. Actually, let me get into this as a student so it doesn't get confusing. So we're going to go back to the content page. And you'll see all the material for the course. If you're like, hey, how do I get to response papers? I don't see them there. You need to come over here to the toolbar on the left. If you hit table of contents, you can see everything in the course. And just to start commenting on some of this, your class schedule's there. Well, let's look at the syllabus first. The syllabus and policies for the course are here. Our first assignment is going to be a syllabus quiz, which we'll talk about here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and open this so it's easier to see. But you're going to see the course syllabus, all the course information. I'm not going to read this word for word to you. You can read faster than I can talk anyway. But generally in this class, assignment's going to be due Monday night and Thursday night by midnight. I'm not actually up at midnight, so I'm basically kind of saying as long as it's there to the next morning, Tuesday or Friday morning, I'm happy. By morning, I mean like 8 o'clock in the morning, not late in the morning. But I'm not actually up at 11:59, so if you need a couple hours, if you're a late night person and going to turn it in at 3 a.m., that's fine. It's kind of interesting in online courses. You see students turning material in around the clock there. But it's Comp 2. We're going to be writing about literature, analyzing literature. So hopefully, as we go through the course, you're going to learn to read critically, use evidence to back up opinions when you discuss literature. You're just not going to give it a 4-star rating or something like that, right? You won't be able to get into it and talk about themes and how it relates to other things, and which we'll be talking about later as we get into the course. I should be able to evaluate critically all sources. I should be doing more than going to Spark Notes for all your information, things like that. Spark Notes is pretty good actually, but you want to be able to critically evaluate sources. Write analytically about literature, not just doing book reports. Recognize genres, use research tools. Excuse me. Hopefully you started some of this with Comp 1, and we're just going to keep going with Comp 2. But basically it's a writing course, right? It's great if you have an opinion about literature, but how well can you write about it? It's kind of going to be the question. We have 2 textbooks. One's this Kelly Mays. The bookstore has a 13th and 14th edition for some reason. I can't imagine why, just to confuse everybody. We're going to use the shorter 13th edition. It's going to be a lot cheaper than a brand new textbook. I should be able to buy this used pretty cheaply. If you're not going to the bookstore, you can see it on Amazon.com pretty cheaply. The other book for the course is Lulu Anew. This is a graphic novel by a French graphic novelist. So this the main textbook, the green one's kind of ugly, but this one's kind of nice and pretty. And we're going to be reading this and comparing it to some drama and talking about genre in that sense. Make sure you kind of take note of the note there. If you don't want to buy the textbooks, that's fine. I'm going to provide online links to all the readings. So if you're comfortable reading on screen and you don't want to pay however much it's going to cost for these textbooks, I will provide links for these sources, and I'll show you that here on the content page here in a second. But I'm just going to keep going over the syllabus since I'm into it. If you want to see the full grading breakdown for the course, you can go to page 6. And that's just a list of everything we're going to be doing in the course. We got 3 major essays and a final exam. The first essay is on fiction, second essay is on drama and the graphic novel, third essay is on the poetry. The first 2 involve research. Then the final exam will kind of be covering everything we've read in the course. Not every single reading, but going to be kind of like relate this idea to 2 or 3 things we've read this semester kind of question. And the final exam is going to be an essay question. Along the way, the responses are pretty much the daily work. You can see the first one's going to be that syllabus quiz, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. Then after that, we're going to be talking about the readings. Some of these may be formal response papers where I want you to write it out, use the MLA formatting, quote from the work, put it on a works cited page, all that fun stuff. Some may be discussion boards, and hopefully a combination there. One, you want to do some practice writing before you get to the major essays. But once we do that, hopefully we can have a little fun on the discussion board, see what everybody's thinking about some of these readings. There is an extra credit opportunity. You can go see the play Eurydice, which Northeast State's putting on. That's going to be performed on April 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. If you need to start making plans there. It's kind of in the future, but some people have to ask for their days off and everything pretty far in advance. Overall, the entire course is worth 1,015 points. And also notice I'm going to drop the lowest response grade, so if you kind of blow one or something happens and you can't complete it, that missing one's not going to kill your grade or anything. But it's 1,015 points for the course. 900 points is an A, 800 is a B, 700 is a C. Pretty much the standard Northeast State scale. Go back up. With these policies, you're going to do a syllabus quiz, so I'm not going to read all of these. But if they're kind of boxed off like this, that means they're very important. And most syllabi policies are pretty much, do the work, show up, do the work, communicate to keep small problems small, be professional, don't cheat, be nice on the discussion boards. Pretty much like real life, right? If you ever worked with somebody in a job where they didn't communicate and they let little problems get into big problems, it's very frustrating, right? If they don't communicate, it gets frustrating. If they're not professional, they don't do their job, it gets frustrating. Same thing in this course. But some of the important ones, if you have an issue or concern or a problem regarding any part of the course, let me know as soon as possible. If you don't tell me the problem, I can't help you, right? And there's lots of help out there. If I can't help you, I can send you to someone who can. So if you're having trouble with any part of your education here at Northeast State, let someone know. Let me know, and we're going to try and help you. But if you just kind of stay quiet and I don't want to bother anybody, then nobody can help you. We don't know there's a problem. Make sure you save all your work, especially as you're working on it. You don't want to get all the way done with that first essay with 20% of your grade, then have your kid get on your computer and delete all your files or something like that. Or someone take your computer, or something happen to your computer. You should always have backup. Just do it. You don't want some ex getting into your Google Docs and deleting all your stuff just out of meanness, and then you don't have your essay anymore. Always have a backup copy. I'm old school. I still use the little thumb drives, but email it to yourself. Do whatever you have to do to have a backup copy. Also, don't delete or throw out any graded work. If I die in a fire or car crash the day before grades are due, and for whatever insane reason you deleted all your graded material out of your grade book or out of your drop boxes, you can't even prove you took the course, right? Keep all the documents. Make sure you have backups. Be just a little paranoid about that. For general communications, you should be checking D2L email every day. You should be doing it anyway, even if you're not in an internet course. But say you send me the wrong file for something, I should be able to email you, say, hey, you sent me a spaghetti recipe instead of your first essay, worth 20% of your grade, and by the next day I should get the correct file, right? Make sure you're checking your D2L email every day. And generally I'll check mine around 1 or during my office hours, which I haven't quite determined yet. Email, make sure you tell me what you want from me. If you just send me an email saying, hey, this assignment's hard, I'm going to be like, yes, I'm going to stop back. Yes, some students find this essay to be difficult. You haven't asked me a question. I'm not quite sure what you want from me. So if you have a question, make sure you ask it. And try and be as professional as possible. I'm not going to grade your emails or send it back corrected or anything mean like that. But the more precise you can be and the more direct you can ask the question, the better I can help you. It gets kind of annoying on both sides if we have to send like 15 emails to figure out what you're trying to say. So be careful there. The rest of this, kind of notice I kind of have a wimpy late work policy. If you're having trouble, or you have to work on Thursday night and you can't quite get to your computer to send something in. If it's there on Friday, a little bit later on Friday, it's not the end of the world to me. But make sure you read the policies there. One where students run into problems. If you're going to take a vacation in the middle of the semester, make sure you have internet access where you're going. And kind of keep in mind, even if you're going to a hotel and their internet sucks, McDonald's, Starbucks, the internet's everywhere. Kind of be creative and make sure you can access the internet and keep up with the course. You're probably going to be offended once or twice in the class. It's just hard. You can't avoid it. The literature at times kind of pokes at us a little bit and asks us to question what we're thinking or believing. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean the course is trying to change your mind about anything. But if an author doesn't rub you wrong, once or twice during the semester, the odds are you're just not reading the assignments. And it's not like I picked up something to be offensive, but you're going to read things that don't quite jive with your worldview. I can't drop you from a class. You have to do the paperwork. That's true for any class you take here at Northeast State. You have to do that paperwork. So if you just quit attending or quit submitting work, I keep writing zeros in the grade book, and then you fail at the end of the semester, right? Which we don't want to do. If you're going to drop class, make sure you see what that does for financial aid or scholarships. If you're on Tennessee Promise and you drop below full time, it's gone, right? So be careful there. Always check your financial aid if you have any. Make sure you understand the ramifications there. The rest of this, if it snows, this is an internet class. We're not canceling class. If we somehow have some horrible disaster like the ice storm of the century or something, we may have to reevaluate what we're doing. But you should be able to get on the internet and keep up with the course. Keep in mind, you can access D2L through your phone, right? So it's not just the computer you should be using. In fact, I use my phone quite a bit to check email and things like that. The rest of this, we'll probably come back to as we get into the semester. Again, there's some more links to the Northeast State services you've already paid for, and we covered that. So again, the first response paper is going to be a syllabus quiz where you're going to go through all these policies and fun stuff and answer questions. All right, that's the content page. You can see the class schedule. This is probably the one we're going to be looking at an awful lot throughout the semester. When something says read, you should be reading it for that day. When it says due, it's due by 11:59 that night. So on the 23rd, you're going to read Plato's The Myth of the Cave, write response number 2 based on that reading, and send that in, right? I haven't decided if I want to do a discussion board or a formal writing there on that one. But you can kind of see the first one. It's due on Thursday the 19th. Again, that's the syllabus quiz, and hopefully you've watched this video by then. Excuse me. But then you're going to see we're going to be looking at various readings. The first thing we're going to kind of start doing is putting the literature we read into a historical context and to kind of a philosophical context. We'll get into that more once we get into Plato a little bit. And hopefully the readings are kind of spread out so it's not too much for any one day. But we're going to start with fiction. Then essay number 1 is going to be on fiction. Once we get the draft going, we'll do peer reviews. I'll send those out, and you'll complete those, and then you'll submit the essay based on the feedback there. Then we move on to drama. You're going to be reading Lulu Anew over spring break. Not too bad. It's kind of nice where you can spread it out a little bit and not try and have to cram it all in one night. Plus, if you're going anywhere, you can take the book with you and read it as you're traveling. But essay number 2 is going to work with drama and the graphic novel. Then essay number 3 is going to be on poetry. Then we'll have the final exam. Hopefully, if you have any questions about that, be sure to let me know. The response papers will be here. For this first one, you're going to download this syllabus quiz into whatever writing program you're using. You're going to open it up. Make sure you download it. Don't try to do this in D2L. It's not going to work. And then I got Word on mine. And then you'll just start answering the questions. Eventually, there we go. You'll complete that, save it to your computer, and then upload it into the D2L Dropbox. What else we got? You're going to see course videos here. There's a video that shows you how to do the syllabus quiz. Some people can do it like that because they did an internet class last semester and pretty familiar with D2L. If you're not sure how to create documents and upload them into D2L, there's some videos there depending on which Word writing program you're using. When you send things to me, it should always be in a Word document format. And you can do that from almost any writing program these days. The readings and viewings, like I said, if you don't want to buy the textbook, yeah, I don't have Plato up there, do I? I'll put that up there later. You can use these links instead of buying the textbook if you want to. It's kind of up to you. Some of these, like I said, are pretty long. A Dollhouse is a full-length play. For me, I'm kind of old, so reading all that on screen is kind of taxing on my eyes. But if you're comfortable reading on screen, you might just say, well, why spend money on a textbook? I can just use these links, which would be fine. There's also a help resources area. Once we get into the writing and stuff, there's some help there to hopefully make sure you know what you're doing with the writing. And plus, not everybody remembers like MLA formatting from Comp 1, or maybe some people took Comp 1 last century or something. So we're going to do some review as we go along. When you submit stuff, it's going to be under assignments. So that's the content page where you can kind of see all the stuff for the course. And that's going to keep building as we go through the semester. I'll keep adding response papers and more course videos and as we go from assignment to assignment. When you submit stuff, it's going to be here in the assignments Dropbox. Again, one of the videos shows you how to do that. We're going to practice this with that first response, see what kind of trouble we run into. And it's pretty normal for there to be problems with various writing programs and all that good stuff. Discussion boards will be here. There's nothing there right now, but if we do a discussion board, it's going to be located in the net area. Sometimes students are interested in their grades, so you just click on that. It should kind of add your grades as we go through the course, but it should sit in a nice neat column there. all your grades for the course, and it matches that one on the syllabus as well, right? Just to show you what it looks like on my end. For me, the grade book looks like this. Just a series of boxes going all the way across the page and all the way down. We've got a fairly large class. So if I make a mistake in the grade, just let me know. I might have just transposed the grade or put it in the wrong place. I try not to do that. But if there's ever a problem with the grade, be sure to let me know and I'll fix it as soon as I can. Like I said, it's not unusual for me to transpose the grade or just, I'm looking at a paper trying to put it back up into here or something and I make a mistake. So if there's a problem, let me know. The grade book, I'm going to download at the end of the semester as an Excel file and submit that to Northeast State for your grades. So it's the official grade book for the course, so make sure, we all want to make sure it's accurate, right? All right, but that's kind of the course. You should be emailing me within D2L to check your email. Or I guess the easiest way to show you. When I email everybody here, I just come here and click email, and I can email the entire class all at once. So I really prefer we use D2L email. I don't know if I put my Northeast State email address on the syllabus here. You can email me at my Northeast State email if it's at erfish@northeaststate.edu if you really have an emergency or D2L goes down. But really, I want you to come here. Don't want you to email the whole class. Just come, click on my name, click email, and always double check to see who you're sending your emails to, right? And just type out your email, send it. Pretty straightforward. To check your D2L email, make sure you're outside of the course at your D2L homepage, and then you click on this little envelope, and it'll pop this up, and you still got to click something to see your emails. But if you're in the class and you check the envelope, you only see emails from this class, and your math teacher or somebody might be trying to email you about something. So it'll list it here, and it's a little bit of a pain to check on the phone. It's not set up for phones really, but you can do it. So there's really no reason not to keep up with the course. But that's kind of the general overview of the course. If you have questions as you're working on things, be sure to let me know. And again, that's kind of the most important thing, really. If you can't find something, like I just noticed I hadn't put Play-Doh up there. If you're like, don't just sit there waiting on me to, post it, because I may be thinking like, I'm the greatest English teacher in the world, and why aren't they submitting that response paper? And you're all like, where's Play-Doh at? I don't see it there. Email me, say I can't find Play-Doh, and if it's right there and you just missed something, that's fine. But if it's not there and I didn't do something, I can fix it pretty quickly, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to keep communicating, keep small problems small, and have a good course. And of course, I'm here to help, right? So if you're struggling with anything, let me know. If you don't understand something, send an email, let me know, and I'll try and help. Generally, you can see if you asked a really good question, because I'll email the answer to the entire class. Like, somebody asked about Play-Doh, and the problem is I didn't put Play-Doh up there, and now it's up there, and get to work. Alrighty, but just wanted to go over everything. Like if you've done an internet course before, it's kind of repeat, and you're kind of probably staring, eyes are starting to glaze over in a little bit. But if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. I'm looking forward to a good course. And we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.